Mike. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the MPGL Season 7. It's another best of one, and Team Underminer going to go up against TNC. Underminer, they actually replaced Malaysia since they had to, well, be elsewhere. So they have probably the biggest shoes possible to fill.
Yeah, but TNC, if you guys managed to tune into the first game of the MPGL, they threw a massive upset. TNC took a game off of Energy Pacemakers, which a lot of people believe to be the top team coming into this tournament, but they took the first game off of them, and they're going to be playing against Team Underminer. We did a little bit of research. There's not too much information in terms of Team Underminer. We kind of feel like they are going to be the underdogs in this best of one series.
Especially since they just lost at DEP, who TNC beat, so, you know, transitive property or whatnot, they should be at a disadvantage here, but, you never know. We supposedly had an upset before, so maybe we'll have one again. Take a quick look at the draft. Nothing too surprising just yet outside of the bans. Always breaks my heart to see a Meepo being banned out there, so I'm a little sadder, but Drow Ranger, Undying, they're all pretty powerful heroes, and I'd say justifiable as bans. Queen of Pain, Shaker for TNC, whereas for Underminer, going to grab the Lion and Shadow Fiend.
I'm surprised a lot of teams actually haven't shown too much respect for this Queen of Pain. We've seen in all of these games, the Queen of Pain, such a strong momentum-based hero, and she doesn't really need much to come online. She's got such strong nuke damage. She does pure damage as well for a Sonic Wave, so even though you might have a BKB or something to avoid that magic avoid the magic damage, you still have to deal with the Sonic Wave. So Queen of Pain, she's been very strong in this tournament, and TNC, they're going to follow up with an Earthshaker as their second pick as a support. Very solid, whereas Underminer, they've gone to some standard heroes. You have nothing really out of the ordinary, but I feel like because they're coming in up against a strong team, it's better off just to play safe.
Yeah, or you could just go balls out aggression, just try something new. You never know. But yeah, Earthshaker, a solid support, but he also does get a lot better with Queen of Pain. I guess they both get a lot better together. Just being able to cover Queen of Pain's either blink in or blink out is huge, and Shaker has a pretty unique effect in that his stun is really easy to connect with, and it's very long range. There aren't many heroes that'll give you that.
TNC, they're going to pull out the Phantom Lancer. This is, I don't want to say it's actually a bad pickup for TNC. PL is a very strong hero, but up against AoE, PL, yes, he's elusive, but if you can clear out his illusions, you know which one's the real one, and it's very easy to kill that PL. And Team Underminer, they've got a lot of AoE already. They've got a Gyrocopter as their third pickup, and we've seen how strong a Gyrocopter can be. Yeah,
like, they already had a decent amount of AoE, as you said, but when you pick up a PL in the not fifth spot, then the enemy team is going to load up on even more AoE. And they already have Lion, who has, two disables or two skills that can get rid of illusions instantly. So just valuable assets there. Again, very unique assets coming out from this Lion. It's, as you said, Phantom Lancer is always going to be an okay hero, but of course, the earlier you pick him up, the more time you give the enemy side to actually counterpick the PL. And right now, I would say he's pretty hard. He's got counterpicked pretty hard.
Yeah, but you got to think about it though. If TNC can actually make space for the PL to farm up those items, to get him tanked up, to make him a threat, can Team Underminer actually handle this PL? Because another weakness of the PL is once he's really big, how do you deal with him? You have to find out which one's a real one, and you have to stun lock him to death. If you cannot keep the PL under control, how are you supposed to kill him? And if you look at Team Underminer, they're pretty weak in terms of disables aside from that Lion, and I don't want to really say the missile is a reliable stun, so Team Underminer kind of lacking in disables.
So easy to dodge the missile with Doppelganger, and similar to Treant Protector, like Man style, you can just split right through it. So the overgrowth and the missile, far, far, far from reliable skills, or reliable disables rather, coming out from Team Underminer. So yeah, killing off Phantom Lancer, AoE is one part. That's to make sure you don't die to the Phantom Lancer, but you also need to make sure that you kill him. And that requires, the whole different tool set entirely, and that's something that Underminer are currently lacking. They're going to grab a Treant Protector for themselves, but TNC, they already have pretty darn good ways of handling a Treant Protector. Lancer, illusions, of course, tear through armor like nobody's business, and Queen of Pain also does a decent job with her dagger.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised Team Underminer went for a Treant Protector as that pick. Typically, you don't really use your Treant Protector aggressively unless you're actually way far ahead, so that your Treant Protector can maintain that mana pool and constantly be just a ward in the enemy jungle, just scouting it out under the Nature's Guise. And if you can get an Aghanim Scepter, just having those little extra trees to give you vision, it's great too. But aside from that, it's interesting. Treant Protector early game, he's a very defensive hero.
Yeah, you can do some damage if you get boots first. If you find yourself next to like a Shaker or an AA, you can really lay the hurt in there, but those situations don't really come up that often. and especially with only the Lion to set up for those early disables so that you can actually get close enough, it's going to be even more difficult still. Supports for TNC Shaker going to be complemented with an Ancient Apparition. It's a little bit more magic damage for them. They're sitting on quite a bit of burst, and for Underminer, yeah, the Treant Protector is kind of going to help out with that, but when you're looking at ganking a Gyrocopter or Shadow Fiend, even though AA Shaker don't really have the most damage in the support book, it's still going to be more than enough to actually kill off these softer heroes.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what these last picks are going to be from both teams. So if we take a look at their drafts, we've got the 2 supports already for Team Underminer, so essentially what they're looking for is an offlane, whereas TNC, they've got both supports, so it looks like they're probably going to be looking into a offlane as well. Broodmother and Storm Spirit are going to be the final bans as well. What do you think would be a good hero to round off TNC's draft? Do you think they need some sort of initiation aside from what they currently have?
I mean, yeah, grabbing someone like a Clockwork, not banned out or anything like that, is never really a bad way to go. Phoenix should also be at a premium right here just because, well, popular.
Wow.
Oh, no, I thought we got rid of this.
Hoo hoo, ha ha.
I thought we were done with this, guys. Sniper, not the hero that I thought, and it's not exactly going to be, first of all, not a great offlane hero, so they're going to have to juggle their lanes in some capacity. And, well, Sniper, Phantom Lancer late game, that's pretty intense, buffs, nerfs or not.
It's interesting. My only concern, though, is can they survive during the early and mid-game phase? Because they are all very squishy heroes. Sniper, he won't have an escape mechanism until he gets something like a Blink Dagger. I don't want to really consider a Mask of Madness as an escape mechanism. It does make you fast, but it makes you more susceptible to dying as well. But it's interesting. We'll see if TNC can make this work. Team Underminer, though, they're cutting it through their reserve time. They've got 40 seconds left. So they've got decent damage with the Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter. They've got okay supports. I feel like they need a little bit more damage to round off the draft, and also maybe a Disable as well. Do you think a Centaur War Runner would be a good hero? Yeah,
because they need, again, now with the Sniper pickup, they actually need ways of getting into the face of the Sniper.
Oh,
before,
they get the Clockwork.
For the Phantom Lancer, the Queen of Pain, usually, you know, it's not that hard to get on top of them. Phantom Lancer's melee. Queen of Pain will usually do that job for you. And if you have a stun in response, you're going to be golden. But now with the Sniper pickup, it has to be Underminer to actually be able to go in themselves. And Clockwork, well, it's never going to be a bad hero. Great versus Sniper. We've seen that for an entire patch now. So a little bit of 0.83 flavor to end off this draft. But yeah, for Underminer, they have pretty good technology actually locking down and killing off the Sniper now.
Yeah. So pretty well, I don't know. I want to say it's a well-rounded draft for Underminer, whereas TNC, it's quirky. But if they can survive the laning phase and get those items that they need, I can definitely see them fighting up against Underminer. My only concern, though, is that can they get this PL fat enough to sit in the front lines to make sure that there's always going to be that gap for the Sniper? Because you never want your Sniper in the middle of the fights, and he is going to be a primary target for Team Underminer.
Yeah, and then the secondary question off of that is, can the Queen of Pain actually get big enough? Can she snowball enough so that TNC will be able to sit back on their late game Sniper, sit back on their late game PL, and hopefully a farmed Queen of Pain, and take the game from there on out. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, TNC, just because their supports are inherently a little bit more reliant on one another and the other heroes in general. But guys, we have, well, TNC, they're on the Radiant, nothing weird going on with them, obviously. 7 is going to be playing the Earthshaker for them. Sam H on the Queen of Pain, following up with Noji on the Phantom Lancer. Teehee is on the Sniper. That leaves AU on the Ancient Apparition.
All right, so playing on the side of Underminer, we're going to have CK playing on our Treant Protector. Gyrocopter going to be handled by Kang. Cloud going to be on our Shadow Fiend. On our Lion, we're going to have Boys. And lastly, we're missing one more hero. It's our Clockwork. That's going to be played by JNY. So pretty standard lanes for the heroes on the side of Underminer.
Yeah, movement from TNC, maybe a little bit peculiar. I actually don't think I've seen this type of movement ever. Whereas for TNC, they're sticking as a group. They really don't want to get into a fight level 1. As good as Rocket Barrage is, Chilling Touch is just a little bit better. You very rarely will lose fights when you have an Ancient Apparition on your team and he's in the fight at level 1. So yeah, they're just going to back off, not really finding much of anything. But runes are going to spawn. Looks like it's just going to be 1-1, bounty for bounty, maybe towards the mid laners.
Shadow Fiend definitely going to be picking up his, whereas looks like Sniper's going to be prioritized for that. So Teehee's going to be walking into the mid lane with that bounty rune. Teehee played the Gyrocopter in the first game up against Energy Pacemakers. He was the Gyrocopter, and he played very well on that Gyrocopter in the, up against EP. How do you think he's going to be going up against a Shadow Fiend? Shadow Fiend normally weak till he gets those souls. Do you think the Sniper is going to capitalize on this?
Well, I think we already see that coming out from AU. Like, the fact that Shadow Fiend is a weaker hero early on is going to be amplified by the fact that you cannot outlast or compete with a sniper who has chilling touch. That will just never be a thing. So they're already trying to go invest a little bit more into this very early game of sniper. He did have an impressive performance on the Gyrocopter earlier today, but Gyrocopter versus DK is a very, very one-sided matchup, whereas for Shadow Fiend Sniper, it's a little bit more even.
Yeah. So in the top lane, we have Sam H playing on the Queen of Pain is up against a dual lane. Now, Queen of Pain, she's going up against a Treant Protector who's going to be in the safe lane supporting role. A tree can't really do anything up against Queen of Pain. She's got the blink, so she's always going to be mobile. She can always kite him. She can always harass him. So I feel like this top lane for TNC, they're going to be happy with this because their Queen of Pain is definitely going to get levels. And if she can get CS. She's going to go for a couple of cheeky denies, which is very cute, but it really works in her favor because if you think about it, Underminer is essentially losing that top lane.
Yeah, and this works until Boys actually shows his face. Once they know, TNC, that the Lion is either on the roam or sitting in the top lane, then the Queen of Pain's playstyle is going to change drastically. I'm actually very surprised that Sam H is playing this aggressive with having no wards in the enemy jungle. Should the Lion be right around the corner or something like that, it could very easily be a kill on the Queen of Pain since, well, homing missile is already going to start things off. Imagine a spike, a hex afterwards. Things get really messy really quickly, but so far, Boys hasn't really been doing that much. Had a single smoke, went to the enemy top lane looking for something, but there was nothing even remotely close by.
Oh, actually, Boys, he's going to take the bounty rune. He's going to run into Sam H as well, but look at how much damage he's taking, and that was also with the Shadow Strike as well, but Sam H, he's going to back up. Does he want to commit for the kill, though? He's thinking about it. He got hit by CK once, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to even commit. You're too painful, CK.
Yeah, Lion's got some big friends. That is not exactly the ideal situation to be as the Lion. Level 1, he did grab that Hex, so he's looking to be, in theory, a little more aggressive. Over towards mid lane, Fissure goes down, Shrapnel, 2 layers on the deck. Cloud trying to make his escape, 3rd Shrapnel layer now down. Will it be enough? However, Cloud is going to get soused up, still alive, albeit barely. T gets hexed up. He's going to die. Boy's going to draw first blood. And Ancient Apparition draws kills shortly after that. Cloud going to run to 7, but he has his bottle. He's going to regen up. Now 2 raises. Only 1 actually because the Fissure comes out just in time.
A little bit greedy.
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, a little bit greedy there from the Shadow Fiend. He wanted to try and get a kill onto EU on the Ancient Apparition, but he gets punished in the end by 7.
It's a rough start, of course, for Teehee, for Teehee. Dropping first blood in that situation, you never really want to be diving a tower ever as a sniper, but that's the threat, I suppose, that Underminer have to worry about over in the mid lane. If the Fissure perhaps blocked the Shadow Fiend on the left side instead of the right side, the Shrapnel would have funneled the Shadow Fiend in a lot easier, and that probably would have been a kill without that much hassle.
Yeah, so unfortunate there for TNC. They give away first blood. It goes to Underminer. They got a counter kill, though, on the Shadow Fiend. Do you think that kind of equalized the first blood in the end? Even though it went to a support in the Earthshaker, just getting that kill onto him, getting those levels, do you think it was worth it?
I mean, it made it less not worth it. Like, having 7 grab boots now just means he's going to be more around the map, so the Boots Earthshaker will be able to both protect the Phantom Lancer down on the bottom lane and also provide a little more pressure over in Cloud. So I would say it's not your first option for trades that you want to make, but the end result for TNC, they have to be okay with that. Like, Shaker is now actually a more potent threat and just needs a little bit more level.
Oh, 7 gonna go for a cute block and chain. Why can't even go anywhere near the bounty rune? It's gonna be secured by EU on the Ancient Apparition. So more gold going in the way of our cold little friend here. Up top though, just having a bit of a tussle. Again, Sam H being pushed out of lane by that Lion. We still have a Gyrocopter farming away. He's actually leading the CS wars, but he is being tailed by a sniper. I hear a Cogs down the bottom lane. Looks like we have JNY. He's in a bit of a tough spot here, and he's trying to salve himself up. He pops the battery assault. There's the Fissure, going to block his exit, and that's going to be another kill going in the way of TNC. Actually, he's going to fight up against the PL. He gets the kill! JNY, he's still alive, and he looks like he wants to go for a TP. Just needs a little bit more mana, but he's going to run into the supports. One more right click. He's not going to pop the Cogs, but that's going to be the death of the Clockwork. Man, that Clockwork just going balls deep for the kill on the PL.
Yeah, and CK definitely paying attention to his mini-map. That living armor proving to be a lifesaver. The damage was high to begin things, but after you actually use those initial chilling touch hits, I mean, Shaker wasn't close enough to actually participate. AU was a little bit far away as well, so it's just the Phantom Lancer at that point. And Phantom Lancer, yeah, the Spirit Lance hurts, but everything else he does, not as much. He doesn't even have boots yet, so Clockwork getting something before he goes down, that's going to give him quite a chunk of experience. And he's closing very rapidly into his level 6. For the supports of TNC, they got to be really scared about that, especially if he's closing in again. Battery Assault's active, but won't quite be enough to close the distance. As over in the top lane in the meantime, Kang gets a solo kill on Sam H.
Well, that's a really good kill as well for Kang, just to get the solo Queen of Pain pretty much out of the game for the moment. He's hit level 6, I believe. No, he's actually getting very close to the 6, but Gyrocopter, once he hits level 6, he's actually able to participate in the team fights. He's not one of those passive carries where he has to farm for those items. He can fall back to the cooldown. He's been leveling up the homing missile, so I'm expecting a lot of early aggression from Underminer once that Gyrocopter hits that level 6 and grabs some of those crucial items. TNC, on the other hand, they're going to have to play defensive. They are running a pretty greedy lineup. They do have a lot of burst available. The only issue is, can they survive the initial burst coming out from Underminer, because they don't have the initiation that Underminer do.
They just don't have the early game power right now. Like we said before, that Queen of Pain is going to be pretty important for TNC as far as holding down the early mid game, because Sniper or PL, a little bit more on the weaker side, they're probably not going to fulfill that role, as well as, say, a Gyrocopter or Shadow Fiend, who just have a party in the early mid game. So for TNC, they might just fall short of heroes that are actually useful when this game hits 10-15 minutes in. We're still very early on in this game. It's only 6 minutes, so they still have a little bit more time to actually work around that, but so far it doesn't really look super promising for them.
Yeah, so we still have the PL being babysat down by the bottom lane. This is the issue for TNC as well. They always have to commit one support to protecting the PL. They can't leave him alone anymore. Yes, he has the doppelwalk, but he can still be killed by that clockwork. Whereas on the side of Underminer, they've got Kang, who he can 1v1 the Queen of Pain. There is a chance that he'll die, but he's in a much better position compared to that PL. So Underminer, they're going to have to capitalize on the fact that they are in a stronger position. They have to keep shutting these heroes down. The mid lane, though, it's been relatively quiet. Boys are going to be taking some of the CS here, whereas we have the Shadow Fiend in the top lane. Cloud, he wants to go for a kill, but this is a Queen of Pain kill, and there's no Lion here, so it'd be pretty difficult for them to even attempt this kill.
Yeah, the only hope is actually just setting up a homing missile, hope it connects somehow, and then hope the Queen of Pain is still within reasonable range to actually get that kill. At the same time, JNY was looking over towards the mid lane, looking for a little bit of blood with that hook shot, which he just recently picked up, so it's a pretty big asset there. He might run into a Teehee here. Sniper, don't go this direction. It's not good for you. But it looks like Clockwork actually was just out of range, so he didn't actually see the Sniper there.
If he saw that Sniper kill, he would have gone for it. And even though the AA was there, it's a very squishy Sniper. 739 HP. I guess he is going to hit a little bit extra just because the AA is going to be there with the Chilling Touch. Actually, never mind. It's on cooldown. So if he did go for the kill on Sniper, that would have been a really easy, just pretty much hit and run.
And that's pretty much the name of the game for Clockwork this entire game. Just hook shot in on the Sniper, ideally, and then just assassinate him before anything else goes down. So if he could, get a couple of going early on, he'll be golden. He's going to see the Earth Shaker, but hook-shotting into a Shaker, though you'll maybe be able to lock him down, you have to worry about Phantom Lances being thrown in, and you're very close to Tier 1 tower for JNY. He's going to play it a little bit slower for right now, and okay, well, it looks like Lion went down over in the mid lane. Stick around for too long up against the Sniper, and you're going to get shrapnelled eventually.
Yeah, that was also with the Assassinate as well, so actually, are we seeing things? I hear... No, nothing's happening. We just had JNY pop the cogs down the bottom lane. But I'm surprised JNY hasn't been a little bit more proactive in roaming around. He's got the hook shot available, he's got a TP scroll available as well, but he hasn't really been there for his team to go for kills. He's just been a little bit more passive. Is he looking to grab an item before he tries to go for kills, or is he just wants to get those extra levels in those skills?
I want to say it's just a side effect of the fact that he's been by himself for the entirety of this game on the bottom lane. The fact that he wasn't in the bottom lane for a couple seconds is pretty freaking obvious to TNC that, hey, well, this Clockwork is probably somewhere else. Looking for a hook shot now, but the illusions are getting in the way. In fact, JNY completely stuck. Here comes the Ice Ball, which will barely miss. Shrapnel goes down, Vortexes go down, but it looks like Underminer will be able to make a clean escape here. And yeah, the Clockwork, maybe if they had the Lion, I think, farming the bottom lane instead of the mid lane, then the Clockwork could have gotten something else done. But over towards top, Samh, gonna take a missile to the dome, called down as well. That's a hell of a lot of magic damage coming out from this Gyro.
Yeah, down the bottom lane as well. We forgot to mention Teehee, TP down there as well. So it gave a little bit of space for Shadow Fiend in the mid lane to continue on farming. So Cloud, he had that free space. He's been farming up the creep wave, and he's starting to get bigger and bigger. Do you think it's going to be a mechanism on our Shadow Fiend this game, or do you think he's going to go for something else?
I don't know. I mean, Mechanism is great for applying pressure early on. That is kind of what Underminer want. At the same time, they can play the slow game. Like Gyrocopter, he's going to go for BKB, so no, huge farm accelerant for him. For the Shadow Fiend, I think probably just looking for a little bit more kill potential, grab a Yule Scepter or something like that, and then just look to pop some of the softer heroes of TNC. That's a great way to just keep TNC on the back foot, and therefore let the rest of Underminer really accelerate their own farm.
Yeah, just a bit of harassment thrown in the top lane just to make sure that Kang and CK don't put any more pressure on that top T1 tower. It's actually pretty low. 200 HP mid lane though, missed a kill. Clockback able to grab the kill in the Ancient Apparition, and JNY, he's able to walk out of there. Actually, Sniper, is he thinking about it? He is going to go for the snipe, and JNY, oh, not even peeped! So close! Living at 45 HP. Oh, in the end, they also lose him as well. Actually, Queen of Pain, Sam H is going to go for a kill onto Boys. Actually, can he TP out in time? Fissure going to cancel that out, so that's a counter kill going in the way of TNC. But 2 for 1. Underminer going to be happy with that. Support for the Sniper and an Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, it's such a cheap price to pay for such great kills. Like, you know, the Sniper really, really wanted that kill, and you can't really fault him for making that play. But at the same time, every single time you're moving forward for another shrapnel layer, you're pump faking, you're assassinate, you're getting a little bit more out of position. And with a double damage Shadow Fiend, who still has a double damage rune right around the corner, yeah, you can't really afford to be running out of position. But speaking of running out of position, Shadow Fiend gonna run to a whole bunch of heroes. Fissure is there, Ice Blast gonna connect as well as a stun Shaker. Echo Slam a little bit unnecessary perhaps, but that Shadow Fiend is really dead now.
Oh, this is a bit of a predicament. But it's actually okay because they did not use the Sonic Wave, and the cooldown for those spells is roughly the same. Oh, actually Echo Slam's a little bit longer, so I'm surprised they didn't decide to commit the Sonic Wave, but maybe they want to save it for another opportunity. Maybe they don't feel like Echo Slam is really going to be useful this game. There's a lot of ranged heroes on the side of Underminer, so to get an Echo Slam off in the middle of the fights, I feel like the chances of it's low, so it was okay to use it during that circumstance, whereas Sonic Wave, much easier to execute in those team fights.
Yeah, Sonic Wave you just pretty much fire and forget, whereas for the Echo Slam, the odds of him actually using it instead pretty darn low, and even in like, well, maybe it's a desperation move up against a Clockwork Hook shot, but outside of that, the scenarios where it's actually going to become a viable tool without a Blink Dagger, and that's not going to be coming up for quite a long time, are pretty few and far between. Noji has grabbed a Hand of Midas on this Phantom Lancer right now, so he's looking to go into the turbo late game status. Underminer, they know about this, and they're going to actually run Sam H. Hex to open things up, call down there, Finger of Death as well. Sam H is in hell of trouble, he got Overgrowth as well, he's down. AU also going to die right now, beaten down by the tree. Teehee can do nothing but try for assassinate onto Boys. We'll get that kill, but at what cost? There's haste on this Clockwork. You're not going anywhere, Teehee. He's going to try to turn and fight, but he's going to die shortly after. He does call off a Gyrocopter with a random shrapnel layer, I believe, and then, well, here comes the reinforcements. Lance at the CK, 7 waiting for another Fissure, has 1 in 2 seconds, but JNY is going to close in once again. Fissure not quite going to do it. CK is going to be A-OK, and they catch 7 in the cogs. JNY has Battery Assault active, and 7's going to take a beating from this Clockwork. Should even be lethal, it will be.
Massive win.
JNY going to claim yet another kill, and, well, it's a messy, messy fight for both sides.
That was a massive win for Underminer. They lost 2 heroes, but they managed to grab almost the entire draft on the side of TNC. They didn't get the PL, which would have been a juicy target, but they grabbed everyone else in the process. So Underminer, we said beforehand that they were the underdogs, and all of a sudden they're performing.
It seems to be the group where you can't really predict anything is going to happen, and then it'll actually happen. Maybe we should have said the complete opposite, and then we would have gotten what we more would have expected. But of course, we can't prepare for that situation. There's going to be a push on the bottom lane. Underminer is going to go for this tier 1. TP is coming in. TP also here. Shrapnel 1 on the deck. Kang going to get hit with another Shrapnel and another Fissure, but do they have enough damage to actually call this Gyrocopter? This dude is pretty tanky with the living armor, and he also has his squad right behind him. Oh no, Sam H, not again, not like this. He's going to deward, so he will know that he was spotted, so Queen of Pain should live here.
Yeah. Man, they just have to leave this tower alone, but Underminer, they don't want to take the tower, they want heroes instead. Where's the initiation voice? There's the head connecting on the 2 heroes, 7 and Teehee. There's going to be the ultimate as well, Overgrowth, keeping them in place. 2 heroes down, they're going to be at the AA as well. And Kang, though, he's being chased up by the PL, but do you really want to stay there? He's going to be chased by a missile, and that might be the end of that fight there. Underminer, they grab 3 heroes, and they lose again. 1 support. These fights always going in the way of Underminer, whereas TNC, they need to play defensive, but a lot of the time they're trying to go into this as a group of 5, trying to win a team fight, but it just doesn't go their way.
Definitely Medal of Valor there to the Lion, or sacrificing his life so that his teammates can get a decent trade. And well, this time was a fantastic trade for Underminer. Not only do they get that team fight win, they also get a tier 1 tower on top of that. And really, I think that's what we're seeing right now. TNC are starting to run into the problem of we don't actually have heroes that are useful 15 minutes in the game. Like, you see the Gyrocopter going off, Shadow Fiend got a pretty decent Requiem there, even the Treant Protector with the Overgrowth helping out in a huge way. Not to mention the Clockworks, but it's been all over the place. But TNC, they don't really have that. They'll kill off Kang up towards top, call down is there, Sam H is going to take a lot of damage from the initial missile blast. We will kill off Gyro. It's something for TNC, but they need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep on going for those pretty much pickoffs. They can't go into Underminer as a team. We've seen it time and time again. Every time they try and team fight, they lose way too many heroes, and it's just not worth it for them. They've gone for a greedy draft. They have to play defensive. They have to use what they have, which is Sam H and 7 on the Earthshaker, as well as the Ancient Apparition with the Ice Blast. That's pretty much their only useful heroes. You can count the Sniper, but the issue is that if there are Underminer heroes nearby, there's a chance that Teehee's going to get caught as well. So they're just going to have to try and create space with these heroes that can pretty much do what they need to without these items. If they get items as well on those useful heroes, that makes their job so much easier, but with this it's very difficult. I wanted to mention Midas on a PL and TNC, they're not looking too good. Do you think this is the correct decision? Do you think they might be able to drag the game long enough to really make the most of a Midas? Oh my gosh.
Ancient Apparition, I think there was an AA there, I'm not too sure. Fissure does connect onto the Lion, they have Sam H coming in. Scream gonna do a little bit of damage. Lion getting assassinated from long range, but he's gonna be more than okay. CK providing the health for his teammates. In the meantime, Jaro, Shadow Fiend taking out Tier 1. They catch 2 in the cogs actually. JNY gonna set up for 2 raises and the call down as well. Sonic Wave is gonna fly through, will kill the Clockwork, make it even 1-for-1, but the Phantom Lancer's in the most trouble, has a Doppelganger cooling down. Looks like he should be fine. Blink forward, Sam H really testing the boundaries right now, but he will be backing off successfully. There's a rocket that's going to be flying in, but it looks like that's probably going to be destroyed. Phantom Lancer item choice, I really think it probably would have been a better idea in the game where you know that you're going to be short on heroes that are useful.
Can they get Cloud? I don't think
no,
so.
He's
got a BKB if necessary.
Yeah, no mana for Assassinate either, but this is the type of game where you need your Phantom Lancer to come into play as soon as possible. That's when you need to go for like the Yasha Diffusal Blade build. Hand of Midas if they were doing much better, but man, they're struggling right now.
Yeah, if they had a little bit more space, then this Midas would have been justified, but everyone on the side of TNC is just so squishy. They just go for this unorthodox kind of draft, and it's just not working out for them, but if they can drag the game late, they can come back. So let's take a look at net worth really quickly. So we've got 8k and 7.3k on the Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter. Both of them are leading in terms of net worth, followed by the PL and the Sniper. So it's not looking too bad for TNC. I think TNC, if they can actually win a good team fight, or if they can get some really nice pickoffs on those heroes, then they can have a chance. They can have a fighting chance with those heroes, and they can fight. But I think the difference is that PL, he needs a little bit more than the Sniper. If the Sniper can get farm, then at least he can be that threat while the PL is slowly farming to be a, I don't want to say useful, because you can still use him in a team fight, but he can't provide much for his team.
Yeah, how about we, you go from useful to valuable. Right now he's not quite valuable yet.
Yeah.
He's kind of usable, but yeah, he still has a long way to go. Yasha will definitely help a great deal in that. And not only
bottom, down bottom, 7.
Yeah, 7 looks pretty dead to me. Second call down missile, not even going to connect. And this has all been set up due in part from just the Nature's guys. Boys would ordinarily make initiations like that with the Blink Dagger, but he doesn't even have one just yet because they have a Treant who's been really, really diligent in this game. Got to give props to CK for his Treant play.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we even get a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. If he had that, then at least he's going to have a much easier time trying to go for some of these initiations in those team fights. But for the moment, just more passive play coming out from both sides. We have TNC attempting to take that top T1 tower, and no one's here on the side of Underminer to protect it, so it looks like TNC are able to grab it themselves, whereas Underminer, they're kind of just doing their own things at this point. Boys are just farming up the jungle, whereas TNC, they're just kind of walking around as a group. Unfortunately, the true support, they have to commit their lives to keeping these supports, to commit to keeping these carries alive. And because of this, they can't get their own farm.
Yeah, Underminer clearing out Roshan. That was an extremely, extremely slow Roshan, and they got hit pretty hard by that guy as well. So the fact that TNC don't really have the fighting power to even contest a Roshan fight like that is really, really painful. Like, you should want to go for those Roshan fights if you're in TNC's position, because you know that the enemies are doing it very slowly. You have eyes on them with the shrapnel and, of course, the vortexes and the ice blast. They have vision galore, yet they just don't have the amount of firepower right now. And I think, even though it is really painful to make that call to let them have Roshan, it is the right decision. They just need to avoid fights.
Yeah, I don't think they even had anything to really contest in that Roche pit. Yeah, I guess they have the Echo Slam, but But also the Echo Slam, Sonic Wave, those heroes in Underminer, they're tanky. And you've got BKB on some of those heroes as well, so it's not going to be easy taking them down unless you can stun lock them to death. So TNC, they're just biding their time. They're trying to get the farm necessary to compete against Underminer in that later stages of the game. We're still in the mid game. It's looking okay for TNC. They're not falling apart. They are still farming on those heroes, which they so desperately need. Whereas Underminer, they've fallen into a more active play. Really, they're just farming away at this point. They got the Roche, so they have the Aegis available. They're going to take this bottom T2 tower, I believe, and after that, do you think they're going to go high ground with these Aegis? They may as well, since they have it.
Yeah, they might test the high ground, force top lane to teleport back or something like that, but unless they find the catch when they will, onto AU, hookshot is there, Cogs as well. Assassination goes on to Kang, but the call down that will definitely kill off the AA. Teehee, though, has quite a large barrier with which to fire from safety. But here comes some more heroes from the bottom line. It's going to be the Shadow Fiend, can't really do too much there. TNC, they lose the Ancient Apparition. Yeah, that's kind of bad, but what they gain is a lot of tower pressure up on the top lane. They might even be able to make a tier 2 for tier 2 trade right now. JNY does not have another hook shot available. Cloud taking an absolute beating. Assassinate, I don't think that'll take out the Aegis, especially with a blink dodge. She'll be just fine, but man, top lane, there's a problem up here for Underminer. They're not getting anything over in mid. Spike over onto the Phantom Lancer though. Hex onto the Queen of Pain. Doppelgang out though. Noji might be A-okay right now. Still there's no hookshot. Force that forward. Looking for the Cogs. Might get close enough. Noji has another Doppelganger soon, but not soon enough. It's a kill on Phantom Lancer, and actually Cloud runs to Sam Mage. Will get his BKB pop. That's 10 seconds where it's been used for nothing. Very unfortunate play there from Cloud, as well, Sonic Wave does cut right through that.
Ice Blast, not going to connect, but it wouldn't have killed him anyway. Just would have brought him down a little bit more. But unfortunate there for TNC, they lose their PL, and they didn't even get the tower. The tower's glyphed at 50 HP. So what can TNC do? Do they commit their lives to the tower, or what? They can't really do anything about it. So a bit of a loss, but they're doing the best they can. This is all they can really do. Just go for split push, just get that farm on those heroes. So TNC, they're doing the correct thing, whereas Underminer, do you think they're a ticking time bomb? Do you feel that TNC is going to come to a point where they can start to snowball and overcome Underminer's draft?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, even though Shadow Fiend, Gyrocopter, their late game is pretty freaking intense, it's really hard to say that a team that has Phantom Lancer and a Sniper is not going to be favored. And I do think that if TNC actually are able to, even making these kind of subpar trades, like taking a tower deny, yeah, that really hurts. Losing a Phantom Lancer, that hurts as well. But they don't lose anything themselves. Like, their structures are still standing for however long. They take out the Aegis from Cloud as well, so they don't have to worry about that in the next couple of minutes. For TNC, they are, making not the best trades, obviously, but they're making the trades that are necessary to actually keep themselves in this game. Underminers, they don't really have great tower pushing. They could clear waves like nobody's business, but as far as actually killing those towers, it's really hard to race a PL. And now the PL has all these items as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you look at these heroes as well, the Gyrocopter and the Shadow Fiend. Does Shadow Fiend even build Desolators anymore? I remember that they used to, but a lot of the times they just prefer crit everything over a Desolator. It would have helped them in the pushing department, though.
Desolator hasn't gotten any worse on Shadow Fiend, so yeah, if you want to go for that route, then really go for it. But I think more than likely it's going to be Assault Cuirass if they really want to get some minus armor going. Tends to be a little more of a balanced item. Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane will finally drop hookshot in over in the north. It's going to be Teehee, Finger of Death to the face, Spike for the kill. And Sniper is going to be a casualty here. They get a kill, Underminer. They take a free Sniper. They still have to worry about the split pushing Phantom Lancer, but they might be able to brute force and brace for a tier 2.
I think at this point, TNC, once they see these towers being knocked on, they just have to hide in their base, or they just have to continue on farming. Oh man, the PL though, he's gone balls deep with just split pushing, and well, there are going to be some TPs. Lion is going to be coming in from the south. There's the doppel walk. It looks like PL looks like he will be able to get up. Actually, blink forward coming out from our line, but he is by himself. JNY, he's being chased up by Illusion, so unfortunately, Underminer, they can't really catch up to these heroes. Those Illusions being super annoying to TNC.
Yeah, that play isn't going to work every single time. One of those times, it's going to result in TNC's heroes going down. Someone gets picked off with a hook shot or something. But for Underminer, they, again, don't get their tower objective. They're forced to fall back. And for TNC, split pushing probably is just their best bet. And I mean, they're okay in doing that. Phantom Lancer, of course, this new-ish Phantom Lancer, not as great at doing that as the old, but that's really what they have to do right now. And Underminer, I don't think they have enough brute force to just straight up rush Phantom Lancer for racks or anything like that. They need some damage on the Gyrocopter, they need some damage on the Shadow Fiend, or they need just a whole slew of pickoffs, and well, they're not finding any of that.
Yeah, TNC is just not giving them the opportunities. They're constantly split, they're never together, so you can never really grab a kill on all those heroes. But well, we may see something very soon though.
Oh, there is a tree right there. Phantom Lancer going to get leech seeded. Doppelgang out. But there's the overgrowth in response. No man style. Here comes the Requiem, which will burst down Noji so deep. Oh my god, Phantom Lancer. Yeah, that must hurt. No one expects the Requiem of Souls after overgrowth combo.
Well, if you're going to take down a hero very quickly, you may as well do it the quickest way, I guess. But again, another kill going in the way of Underminer as TNC. Oh, they get a kill on the Gyrocopter though, so they get a counter kill, and that's a pretty big kill as well. That is the core farmer on the side of Underminer taken down. So we've got some good news going in the way of TNC. They get an important kill, they lose their PL, but look at how much gold they got from the Gyro. 1.2k.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of change from that hero. The problem is that Underminer, they still have enough power spread out within their other heroes to go for this push, whereas the TNC, I mean, they think they might be able to defend right now, but they're going to connect with the Cloud, Ice Blast, and the Assassin, which should be incoming. No, not even needed. They kill him off without it. They get Teehee caught in the cogs, however, and JMY just going to lay into it, but he's actually going for Voice. In the meantime, Figure Death will kill off the Ancient Apparition. T still surviving with that BKB, and now it has to be JMY on the retreat. Assassinate will fail, but the Sniper somehow survives an ordeal with the Clockwork. Don't see that every day, but at the same time, there were quite a few creeps there that were splitting the battery assault damage.
That's what TNC needed. And that was some two important heroes as well. So all of a sudden, Underminer, they lost both cores. They lost the Gyrocopter previously to the engagement, and then all of a sudden they lose their Lion and their Shadow Fiend as well. And TNC, suddenly they got some momentum going, but not quite enough to really get anything out of it. So again, we're back to this farming mode coming out from TNC. They got big kills, they're getting some gold going their way, and all of a sudden they're getting relevant. I want to quickly point out Blade Mail and Queen of Pain.
It's an item that you don't really see every day, and she's actually, well, I thought that was going to be a BKB first. Looks like it's going to be straight Aghanim Scepter. That sequencing is a little bit weird. Power Treads, Ogre Club, Blade Mail into Ogre Club into Aghanim Scepter, but hey, as long as you get there, I suppose. There is quite a bit of AoE that Underminer have that they can't really control. They maybe bait out a Finger of Death ideally, but even in the Requiem or a Call Down, it's pretty much guaranteed to return a lot of damage. I'm not sure if that's really what you want to be doing on this type of Queen of Pain, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's just in case she is focused down that at least she is able to send back a little bit of damage on the way of Underminer, and then maybe TNC can capitalize on some of those low heroes. But, well, we've got some good news going in the way of TNC. We've got our Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, that's a pretty big item pickup. It's one of the most efficient ways to actually increase the illusion damage of the Phantom Lancers. Mana burn is an extra. In this game, not really going to be the hugest of deals. But man, extra damage from the Phantom Lancer, every single item he picks up. Mant Style should be upcoming, so we could get rid of those overgrowth roots. But for Noji, he's pretty much progressing more or less as he really wants to. Obviously, he would prefer more farm, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. And Phantom Lancer, he's died a couple of times, but he's still getting to a point where Underminer, if they don't actually make some sort of plays right now, they might be facing down a 5-6 slotted Phantom Lancer, and good luck doing that ever.
Yeah, absolutely. So Underminer, they had a very good early game, they had a very good mid game, and we're slowly approaching that late game. And TNC, you look at these heroes, they all peak during the later stages of the game, whereas Underminer, they've had such a good start for a long time, and they haven't really been able to go for any big plays with this. Yes, they got the Roshan the first time, but they didn't get anything like a T3 tower out of it. You want to try and get Raxes with the Aegis just to fully capitalize on the fact that you have that and that second life on that core hero. So we'll see if Underminer can do this with a second Aegis, which we don't actually know when it's going to respawn yet. Oh, actually, never mind. You do see it now.
Yeah, about 30 seconds left, so, or 43 rather. So 43 seconds until Roshan is going to be up again. And TNC is when they really want to get the lanes pushed out, try to get the push going. But at the same time, since I know it, Underminer sure as hell know it as well. And they're setting a trap up for Noji up on top. Boys is ready to jump in, blink forward. Hex is going to cancel a TP. Phantom Lancer in a lot of trouble right now, but he does have his doppelgang. Here comes the Requiem, which will annihilate the Phantom Lancer. Easy kill up on top. And again, Lion, very sneaky. You don't expect a random Lion in those trees. Phantom Lancer down means that should the Roshan spawn right now, and it pretty much will, Underminer should get it for free.
And Clockwork, will he actually be able to scan it? I think he should be able to. They've got a creep in there anyway, but CK, he's going to be coming in just to kill off that creep anyway, and all of a sudden, we have a Roshan.
Centaurs freaking everywhere, man. Where are these Centaurs here?
I think they stole one of the Centaurs.
Like, how did all these Centaurs even get here? Helmut Dominator on Sniper, Helmut Dominator on Gyrocopter as well. Of course, Centaurs, they don't control what they do. They just kind of go along with it. But yeah, TNC, even with the Phantom Lancer, if he was alive right now, I still don't think they would have actually tried to contest this for Roshan.
I don't think they have to, in all honesty. Just play it safe. They will send the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast in. It's going to tick some heroes low, but it's not going to kill anybody. So, again, that's going to be another easy Aegis going in the way of Underminer. Now, this is the second Roshan of the game. After this, actually, never mind. There's a team fight. Overgrowth going to keep heroes in place. Teehee as well as EU. They're dropping low. Our Sniper has to pop the BKB to survive. EU, though, he's still running away from J and Y. Let's put the shrapnel to slow the heroes down. All of a sudden, these heroes, can they get out? They're homing missile. This is going to kill our AA. He's not getting out of this. So they will get a kill out of it. They did lose the Earthshaker in the process, so actually AA is going to be saved by Teehee. Teehee, can he save his teammate? Yes, he does! Under attack. What a man, saving his buddy there. Not
totally worth the sniper pick, man. Totally worth it. Yeah, get a range share that could do that. You're going to be good to go. That is like the most excruciating death possible, is running away knowing that it's hopeless until it's not hopeless. And well, Underminer, they still kill off the Earthshaker. They still have a double life in the Shadow Fiend. Now a fresh Eye of Scotty there as well. He's going to get chipped down slowly but surely. The split push situation not looking great for TNC. So it looks like they might be forced up into a heads-up fight. Cloud dropping very low, however. Less than ideal. Ice Blast snipe. Oh, no, don't go in there. Okay, he's going to be just fine. Ice Blast also whiffs on the Gyrocopter, but TNC take a little bit of structural damage, but they hold.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Underminer. If they did not have to pop the BKB on the Gyrocopter, then they would have continued on with the push. But without the BKB on the Gyrocopter, Kang is just so susceptible to being disabled, and also having his mana burned. A lot of the time you want to have mana on your Gyrocopter constantly because he's also a hero that relies on a lot of his spells. Oh, boys. Just kind of scouting around at this point. Same with J and Y, but TNC, they're not going to go for any greedy plays. They're just going to continue on farming in those safe spots. We're going to get a 4-star scene on our Lion. That's going to be very useful for Underminer.
He's already been doing a great job with just the Blink Dagger. Add the extra mobility item and you're good to go pretty much anywhere all the time ever. So yeah, Lion's going to be skating around like nobody's business, but I think probably the more important big item we have is on the Supreme Protector. He has an Aghanim sitting in his stash just waiting to be picked up. So Underminer, if they are going to play this slow and steady, we're just going to constrict you out of resources game, they're going to do it with having full map vision, or more or less full map vision. And taking quickly what TNC have to destroy trees, not that much. Doppelganger does it, but you don't really want to use that skill to clear out trees, so it's rather inefficient there.
Yeah. So again, we're back to this passive play coming out from both teams, but what can TNC do? They can't really put their foot to the metal because what can they really do? They can try and go for kills, but they're always so scared about getting picked off. They're just hanging on in this game by a thread, and the thread is getting thicker and thicker as the game goes longer and longer. And as long as they keep on getting this farm, it's absolutely fine. But for the moment, we have a mission that is currently being deployed by Underminer, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to work, unfortunately. And it looks like they will leave empty-handed. Pretty good read on where anyone would be if there was someone there. You probably can't escape the rocket flare into the trees. There's just nowhere to hide. But up towards top Gyrocopter, also narrowly dodging death. So overall for Underminer, I think they're going to be happy that they didn't gain anyone there. Because if they gained someone there, if they got a kill, most likely Kang would have died in the process on the top lane. Ice Blast going to go up towards top. Echo Slam as well. BKB goes up there, and the call down is going to land onto 2. Yoji going to drop very low. 7 also going to get banged up pretty badly there. But Echo Slam being used, that's a pretty big asset down the drain for TNC. Whereas for Underminer, they will have a call down very shortly. Yeah, that was actually an Echo Slam as well. But unfortunate here for Underminer, they had to pop the BKB, so they're going to have to wait for the BKBs to actually come off cooldown before they can go for the push. But again, an important resource on the side of TNC's down, which is the Echo Slam. If they manage to get that Echo Slam to connect, there's a high chance they would have been able to kill some of those heroes, in particular that Gyrocopter, because he is still pretty squishy. Shadow Fiend, on the other hand, he's much more tanky, 2.3k HP, plus the Eye of Scotty. Vision are just going to be there to pretty much block the creeps out at this point, because TNC, they don't want to go anywhere near that T3 tower. They know they can be hookshot, and they know they can be bursted down. Cloud, because he is so tanky, still has that Aegis in backup. He's going to put himself at risk because someone has to do it for the team. Hookshot in, is going to catch Teehee, Finger of Death, primed already, will fire, not quite lethal. BKB up now on Teehee. Cloud, can he do enough damage to kill a sniper effectively? It looks like he will. Yeah, you also getting a little bit low. He will die as well. Overgrowth off to the side. Queen of Pain caught. Blade Mail is up. Sonic Wave through onto 3, but Hookshot is there from J and Y. They'll lock down the Queen of Pain and kill her off. Phantom Lancer, in the meantime, limping back to his fountain. Underminer lose the Gyrocopter, and they'll get banged up pretty badly on their way out, but they still have this Aegis from Cloud. That initiate from Underminer is pretty much exactly what you want from your Lion every single time. Yeah, so this is pretty much forced the buyback into the Ancient Apparition. They have to try and defend this tower for as long as possible, or they just have to pretty much sack it and hope that Underminer can't take anything more out of this. But this middle T3 tower is going to be a primary target if Underminer wants to go for it. Ice Blast is going to connect. No, it doesn't connect onto Boys. It would have been nice if it did, just to really get him low. Hookshot going to miss from JNY. It looks like everyone on the side of Underminer is just going to retreat at this point. So TNC, they take a bad fight and they lose nothing really. They lose HP on the T3 tower. I thought it was actually going to be much worse than this.
Yeah, I thought at the very least the Tier 3 tower was going to go down, but somehow it survives. So TNC are going to have that for another defense at a future date, but still not exactly the best team fight for them. Underminer don't get as much as they really would want, but still they collect a hell of a lot of gold. Now there's 4,200 gold in the Shadow Fiend. After that fresh eye of Scotty, he can get pretty much whatever he wants, maybe a little bit of damage output, maybe that Assault Cuirass from before, and actually try to kill off those structures a little more effectively. Because again, that's where Underminer are falling short. They can take team fights with their Wombo combo AoE skills, but as far as killing off the structures, they're going to be a little bit more hard-pressed to make that done.
Okay, so current gold, we've got a lot of gold on our Shadow Fiend. He's sitting on 4.6k gold. Are we going to see some of these newer items on our Shadow Fiend? What would you like to see?
Probably not. I mean, the attack speed is the only one he would really go for, right?
The Moonshot?
Yeah.
It'll be nice during nighttime as well for the extra night vision.
And yeah, I mean, if he was going for Silver Edge also, he probably would have had a Shadow Blade by now, but Moonshot, I feel like probably after a Butterfly or something like that, or, you know, Daedalus for extra smashies.
Yeah, that's good. That's all right too. I just want to see some new shiny items on these heroes. You haven't seen too many actually, have we?
I haven't seen any. Like, all the games I casted today, not a single new item. I'm starting to worry we might be stuck in 0.83 in the games I'm casting.
I've only seen mangoes, so that's pretty much about it for me. Those enchanted mangoes during the early
There's been no mangoes
stage.
in this game either. What the hell?
Not this game. I've seen mangoes in a couple of previous games, but aside from that, we haven't really seen anything. I'm surprised the Solar Crest hasn't actually seen as much attention as I thought it would. It is a great item. It gives you mischance, or it also gives you evasion for your own allies. It feels like it's such a good team item. The only problem is, though, a lot of people speculated it's only a support item. Would you think that maybe a core hero could pick this up as well?
Unless you have like a super aggressive game plan, that's probably not in the cards. Like in this game, Underminer, they're okay with letting the game drag out. TNC, that's their goal, let the game drag out. So as far as cores picking up those type of early game cost-effective items, that's really not going to happen. And for these support heroes, for both sides, really, they have higher priorities. Blink Daggers, Force Stabs, Aghanim Scepter for AA, which is seemingly never going to come out for him, but yeah, he doesn't really have gold to spare on items that, though good, aren't really going to contribute what he wants.
Yeah. So again, it's still pretty slow. TNC though, they've got everybody just locked up in their base. They're so scared, and well, I wouldn't blame them. There's so many infected trees on the side, on TNC side of the map, and they're just so scared to leave the base. They're just so scared to cut them down as well. But what can they really do? They're trying to find farm wherever they can, and if they leave their base, they are going to be spotted up by these trees, and there is a chance that you may be hookshot and pretty much brought down. JNY is nearby. Just going to continue on farming the jungle. He's got no one nearby, so there's a very low chance that PL would have died.
And this is not a situation you want to find yourself in, where you're losing ground very quickly, and oh, smoke gets blown. They do throw a whole bunch of skills wide. CK making quite a bit of damage, has overgrowth, has backup in the Shadow Fiend right around the corner. Requiem is being wound up, will do very little damage, however. Now he's being chased down by Angry Phantom Lancer. Illusion Savage going to blink right in front of the Shadow Fiend. He's going to beating himself, but he will get the kill in the end. Teehee also having his BKB forced out, but it's still just 2 free kills for TNC. They get a couple of kills, and now they actually might be able to leave their base. Imagine that. Such
a clutch dodge from the PL. If he did not avoid that, chances are he would have actually died at that point. But because he was able to doppel walk just as the Requiem was unleashed, he avoided all of the damage. And that's pretty much the Shadow Fiend got with nothing left in the tank once the BKB has been popped, once the Requiem has been popped. If he's by himself, what can your Shadow Fiend do? So a bit of misplays coming out from Underminer, and all of a sudden TNC, they're going to start taking towers at this point. The T1 tower, which has been up for the majority of the game, 40 minutes, is finally going to go down. Actually, we have Sam H trying to chase up the Poise. He will be hexed up as well as Earth Spikes. It looks like he will go down. Finger down, going to finish him off though, but Poise force stabbing himself away, as well as J and Y. So 2 heroes are able to get out. They don't even get the T1 tower. It's still alive, and unfortunately for TNC, they just wanted the tower. They tried to go for something extra, and actually, Missile, dead teammate nearby. It's not looking too good. It will go down to the Illusion. Oh, hookshot though, gonna connect onto the Earthshake. A clutch play coming out from JNY.
Overgrowth from downtown from CK, just helping out in that kill, but And for TNC, they had the Gyrocopter absolutely swarmed in illusions. He was absolutely covered. He had to do pretty much nothing but retreat and couldn't really effectively clear them out. Black Cannon does a decent job, but not really going to burst them all down. For the TNC side, they split up their forces just a little bit too much, though. If they went straight for the Gyrocopter, or if they went straight for the Clockwork on the south end of that fight, they probably would have gotten away with something, but instead they split up their forces between the top side of that fight, the bottom side of that fight, and the tower, which is kind of in the middle, and end up getting absolutely jack all because of it.
Yeah, probably just a little bit greedy there. They were hoping to grab everybody, but they didn't get anything, and they didn't even get the main objective, which was the tower. It's going to be healed up and down bottom, though. PL, he's in trouble. He's been taking a lot of damage from Kank. He will get out, though. Doppelwalk is available in the missile. He's just going to Doppelwalk it out. So PL is absolutely fine. Again, you can spam this ultimate on the Gyrocopter. The cooldown for it is so small. It's 45 seconds. You can just constantly spam it when you try and go for these ganks. Oh, man. TNC, they're not having an easy game, and even though it's coming late, Underminer not going to give them any sort of space.
If Phantom Lancer tries to pull a stunt like that again, Lion probably going to use the Hex this time. Will also have a level 3 Finger of Death, which does sting like hell, guys. So Finger of Death is going to be hitting very hard. And, well, they also have an Aegis Cheese. That sure as hell helps as well. TNC, for the third time now, are not in a position to defend it, and I probably would say don't want to do anything about this, mostly because if they do try it, it'll be a little bit too expensive for them. Their movement will be spotted by some random eye in the forest, so it's going to be a Gyrocopter now with a double life, Shadow Fiend with the Cheese. With this much tankiness, it's essentially a double life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of a sudden, Underminer, this is probably going to be their confidence to go up high ground. Actually, well, they're going to lose Kang. There's just some illusions from the PL just to keep on pushing out that mid lane. But TNC, they're not going to show their faces. They're just going to keep on pushing at this point. They don't really want to hide in their base. They know they need this farm. So PL is going to farm in the bottom lane, whereas Queen of Pain, he's going to be up top. But actually, is he going to be up top for much longer?
Oh, Sam H, gotta have some sick jukes right now. Is it going to be a safe TP? Hook shot is gonna connect. There's another blink cooling down right now for Sam H. We get deeper into the trees. Force Staff forward, JNY closing in. Call down is there. Sam H not with another blink just yet. He has it now, and he will get off to the right side, but the missile's gonna crack him down. Not quite gonna be lethal. Flare will miss, but they do see Sam H. One more tap, gonna kill off the Queen of Pain. Deep behind enemy lines there. 70 seconds where she's down, and the Sonic Wave at the very least is so important for TNC to have to defend. This is going to be a high ground push attempt for Underminer.
They really needed that the Queen of Pain to actually help them defend. So all of a sudden we have TNC at a massive disadvantage, having that Queen of Pain down and out for the fight. There is probably a small chance of actually getting enough buyback gold. If you take a look at the buyback status here, it's very close. But TNC though, they're gonna try and go for the high ground push. Will they be successful this time though, or are they gonna continue on prioritizing those fights? They're gonna have to try and take these objectives eventually. T3 tower is down, and Kang is gonna be the one in the front lines. Hookshot gonna connect onto our Earthshaker, and again, Finger of Death as well. So that's gonna be the Earthshaker down. Queen of Pain though, she's gonna be up pretty soon, 25 seconds. Kang though, just being harassed out by the PL illusion at this point, but one Brax is down. They're gonna take another one. And TNC, are they going to take more? They want more. They want this mid T3 tower. Is this going to be a mistake though? We'll have to see how TNC manages to execute this Underminer. They want this tower so badly. Oh, hookshot again! They get this hookshot. Teehee, that's the sniper. Will he go down? He will. No buyback as well. Requiem. They're going to lose almost everybody, and BKB deployed on the PL. He wants to try and fight. Diffusal Blade was popped onto the Lion, but what can they really do? Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave going to finish off the Lion. Gem on the deck. Is anyone going to pick that up though? CK is going to pick that up for his friend, and again, another set of Raxes down on the side of TNC. What looked to be really, really wonky is just getting worse and worse for them. They keep trying to fight into these heroes, and they just can't get anything out of it.
And the Lion again, what a trooper, again giving his life so that the team may take a really good trade. And well, Lion's life for Raxes, I would take that trade every single day of the week. Underminer going to cash in huge off of that fight. Still, they have the Aegis and they have the Cheese. TNC, they're just getting eaten alive because they're not really prepared for the initiation of JNY. Every single time, it's been the Clockwork to open up with the fight. Then the Lion follows up with, you know, the Hex Spike at the very least, maybe the Finger of Death if it's a really important target. But for TNC, like, what do they have to defend against that? They have Seven, who might be in a position to actually counter-initiate, but other than that, they're just going to be at the mercy of this Clockwork initiation until this game actually ends.
Those hook shots have been so on point. If they didn't have a Clockwork, I don't know how Underminer actually goes up high ground, but those hook shots, because he's been able to catch heroes I don't want to say 24/7, he has missed a couple, but just to constantly hit those hook shots, and especially when you have an Axe with the low cooldown on your Clockwork, if you can do that, high ground is so much easier with one less hero. So TNC, last set of Raxes, last T3 tower, pretty much their last chance to stay in this game, unless all of a sudden Underminer just completely throw. What can TNC do?
They could cross their fingers
new
and
item! We have a new item on our Queen of Pain.
Thank you, Queen of Pain, for listening in to this cast. Octarine Core, guys. The cooldown reduction is huge for Queen of Pain. Like, Blink having a reduced cooldown, that in and of itself is freaking ridiculous, but the amount of damage that she could put out with this item, not to mention the lifesteal, is going to be insane. But yeah, it might be a little bit too late for this item just because they're already 2 Raxes down. They're going to need something potentially a little bit more heavy hitting than a consistency item, because already Underminer, they're knocking on the front door. Blink forward, give the Sonic Wave, connect on the 2.
Misses the hook shot this time, but Blink forward, they do catch a PL with the line. Oh my goodness, that beautiful Echo Slam. They will lose the Earthshake. The Shadow Fiend is down. Kang's still alive. He's trying to do whatever he can. He's healing up because of his Satanic, and all of a sudden, 3 heroes are down for TNC, and actually PL is by himself in next to the tower. They will lose the PL. Sam is nearby, but all of a sudden they TP in another hero, which was the Ancient Operation. What can he do? 2 gems are on the ground. They actually brought back on the PL. They want to keep fighting, but remember there's an Aegis on this Gyrocopter. He can fight again. Sam, there's a Sonic Wave. He's still fighting the PL. He is starting to overwhelm the heroes. 4 heroes down for Underminer and Kang. He's going to be hitting on the PL. He's actually being chased up. Actually, will he continue on fighting though? Kang, he's still hanging around PL. He wants to commit. They're going to bring everybody in. They've got Sam. They've even got the Earthshaker as well. They will lose. Actually, Aegis has been used. Aegis is down. They will lose Kang. Actually, never mind. He's healing up from the Satanic. Oh my god. How are you going to kill this Gyrocopter? He will finally go down. PL so low. 33 HP.
Gyrocopter is a one-man army. Like, TNC, they went into the Shadow Fiend, they killed him off before he actually got anything off. Couldn't pop BKB, couldn't pop the cheese. Usually once you take that pick off, you're just going to steamroll the fight from there on out, but Underminer make them work for every single inch of that fight. Gyrocopter, of course, now at a minimum BKB duration is going to be a little bit more hard-pressed to replicate what he just did, but Satanic, Lifesteal, Evasion from the Butterfly, the amount of Lifesteal he's actually just getting without even activating the Satanic, it's an insane amount of survivability from this Gyrocopter, but bottom line for TNC, though they are 2 Raxes down still, they hold the high ground push for Underminer, and that was an Aegis push as well. So yeah, it's definitely looking a lot worse now for Underminer. Still looking pretty darn good, but man, they're going to have to reconsider just brute forcing up the high ground. They need to take some sort of different plan. They need a hook shot to land.
Yeah, PL's still not big though. He is that main DPS on the side of TNC. They've got a sniper as well, but they're both pretty squishy, and if they do get caught out, they are susceptible to getting picked off. That is one thing for certain. Underminer though, all they need is to get these Raxes, or they just have to kill those heroes and just go straight after T4 towers. If anything, they don't even have to go for the Raxes, because if you look at buyback status, we've got nobody on the side of TNC with buyback. Nobody. They used everything to defend that set of Raxes down the bottom lane. So if TNC mess up this push, it's probably going to be over. Noji on the bottom end, as is JNY. They also have to worry about their base, which is kind of being overrun by super creeps in top lane. They'll take down a tier 2 tower, but it's 50 minutes in. Tier 2 towers are almost completely irrelevant. Blink forward, Echo Slam, not going to do a thing. Kang has BKB, as does Cloud. Everyone, in fact, they'll kill off the Earthshaker in an instant. Now Noji, all alone, needs some backup. Will throw a lance over towards CK. Sniper can kill off the line in the background, but Noji, even with his BKB, is taking an absolute beating right now. Leechy to slow him down even further. Has a doppelgang down to the low ground, into a TP. Actually, no, canceling that one instantly. Rocket Flare is there, missile closing in slowly but surely. No sniper this time to destroy it. Hook shot in, and it's going to kill off the PL. I think you just said it. I think you could call that a messed up push. Yeah. Now they have no PL for 110 seconds. Unless Underminer screw up, I don't see them losing this game, unfortunately. TNC, they fought back so hard. They tried to bring it into the late game, but they don't have enough. They needed more time. And I'm surprised Underminer did manage to get Cloud Farm a little bit more, but oh, they get another kill. They get Treant Protector. Oh, actually Queen of Pain got the kill. Sorry.
Yeah, Yeah, Sonic Wave has a ridiculously low cooldown with both the core and the Aghanim Scepter, so Underminer, they're just going to go for it once again. They have Illusion Runes on the Shadow Fiend, which do hit pretty hard because of the Ice Scotty Butterfly. Kang also hitting like a truck, but yeah, there's no creeps here. They shoved out top lane, mid lane as well. Hook shot in, going to connect onto Teehee. Needs a force staff out. Someone help this sniper. He's going to try and fight it out, but you can't outfight both the lifesteal from the Gyrocopter and Cloud. That's not going to happen. Now no sniper and no PL. The backrow protection is going to wear off. They're going to lose their last set of Raxes.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much it, unless TNC turns their sniper into a Gyrocopter and buys a Divine Rapier. I don't see them coming back into the game.
Dash repick, guys. It's never too late to repick. Seven going to get hit with the Finger of Death. Cogs is there as well. You can't even leave your fountain. If you try, you'll get bumped back. Ancient Apparition trying to scrape together an urn. That's not going to save them. That's not going to do anything. Hell, I don't even know if it's going to be getting any soul. Sonic Wave through. You might as well, because they don't have any fighting potential right now. They might get a couple of kills for the Road, but the Road doesn't actually care about their kill score. Two-man Spike to hold them out with the call down, and that is going to be it, guys.
GG.
And Underminer, that was a pretty methodical game. Like, of course, it wasn't the cleanest. We've seen a lot more cleaner games, even just today, but the hook shots from the Clockwork setting pretty much everything up. The early game plays from CK, with Nature's Guise and Living Armor both, that was a ridiculous amount of extra sustain for Underminer, and they came ahead so far ahead in the very early portions of the game. They just rode such a tidal wave of golden experience advantage until the end.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, is this actually a three-way tie? Because all teams in the Underminer, TNC, and EP have won a game each. They've all won a game, yeah.
It is a three-way tie, so things get a little bit awkward here in the third group, or Group C, Group 3, I don't actually know, but yeah, things will get a little bit messy. So, guys, that was some game. Underminer seeming like the crowd favorites. Like,